Hey everyone, welcome back to the Freedom One Coffee YouTube channel. This week we're going to take a little bit of a break from talking about Freedom One Coffee, and I'm going to show you guys how to make the perfect latte at home. When we talk about making the perfect latte at home, we have to start talking about quality. Quality is the responsibility of three people. It starts with the farmer, then the coffee roaster, and then you at home, the barista. So going all the way back to the coffee farm, it is first the responsibility of the farmer to ensure that they're planting their coffee shrub at a high elevation. It has to be a good Arabica coffee, and their responsibility is truly to plant the coffee shrub where it's going to get the most growth and the most flavor potential. What I mean by this, if coffee farmers plant their coffee shrubs next to a rose garden, the coffee bean is actually going to absorb that rose flavor. Likewise, if they plant their coffee shrubs next to manure, their coffee is going to taste like. Coffee shrubs can take up to 4 years to grow coffee cherries before they can be harvested. And it is a very long and labor-intensive process, and that's where coffee starts. If you get a poor quality coffee from the farm, you're not going to get a perfect latte at home. So once the coffee farmer has harvested all of his crop, he then processes the coffee and sends it to the roaster. So it basically trades hands of responsibility, passing the buck, if you will, from the farmer to the roaster. The roaster has a crucial role in making you the perfect latte. So what I mean by this, the farmer can do everything that he or she can to give you the best bean, but if it's given to a roaster that doesn't know what they're doing or doesn't know how to bring out the correct profile of the bean while it's in the roaster, they can totally destroy the coffee and ruin all that hard work the farmer has done. So the roaster just has just as much responsibility as the coffee farmer in this process. Once the coffee roaster has finished their magic in roasting the coffee, they will then send it to you fresh. And freshness is also an important factor when you're talking about the quality of coffee. If they're sending you coffee that's 6 months old, you're not going to have the quality you need to make the perfect latte. Coffee usually needs to be shipped out and brewed within a month of it being roasted. Once the coffee arrives at your door, now it is your responsibility to make the perfect latte. The farmer's done their job, the roaster has done their job, and now it is your job to be the barista and brew the perfect latte. So I'm going to show you guys what you need to brew the perfect latte. So first things first, you're going to start with some fresh whole bean coffee from your roaster. Today I am using my Ethiopian charge coffee, very high quality coffee grown at a high elevation in Ethiopia. Definitely has a lot of complex and amazing flavors that really come out with espresso. And since it's whole bean, you're going to need a coffee grinder. The coffee grinder you use is just as important as the espresso machine that you brew with. So if you don't have a good quality coffee grinder and you're trying to make the perfect latte, it might not work out. You surely don't need the best of everything to make a latte, but the better equipment you have, the better your latte will taste. And just to give you guys a little show and tell, this was the first espresso machine that I ever bought. I think I got it for $30 used on Amazon, and it did its job. It definitely didn't make the perfect latte at home, but it made a great latte, and it's a good place for you guys to start if you don't have an espresso machine in your house already. So when we're talking about making a latte, you cannot make a latte on a traditional coffee maker. Even this fancy one that has the milk frother cannot make a latte. You need an espresso machine. So this is the espresso machine that I use at home. It is the Breville Oracle. I'll put the link in the description. And then this is the grinder that I use at home. It's definitely a little bit overkill. It's a Mahlkönig K30 grinder. It's usually what they use in cafes. But again, the higher quality equipment you use, the more perfect your latte will taste. So the three biggest things you'll need, of course, are coffee beans, coffee grinder, and espresso machine. But a few accessories you'll also need, especially if you want to make a perfect latte, are a milk jug if you want to make a hot, perfect latte, and a tamper that you'll need after you grind your coffee beans. A distributor is optional. I use it for better consistency, better quality. And then you, of course, you want to see the quality that's coming out of your espresso machine. So I'm using a clear shot glass that has measurements on it. So those are 4 espresso machine accessories that you'll need to make the perfect latte. So now is the time. It is now our responsibility as the barista to ensure that all the work the coffee farmer and roaster did to our coffee is not in vain, but that it comes to make a perfect latte at home. So now I'm going to show you step by step how I make the perfect latte every morning at home. So you are first going to pour your freshly roasted coffee into your coffee hopper. This coffee was roasted about 2 days ago, so it is very fresh. You really want to make sure when it comes to your coffee grind that it's very fine when you're grinding for espresso. So fine that it should stick to your hand like it is right here. You want to make sure you get your coffee portafilter, which you actually put your ground coffee in. Make sure that it's clean, dry, and hot, so it doesn't throw off the temperature of the espresso when it comes out of your machine super hot. You don't want to have a cold portafilter. Coffee grind has a lot to do with your flavor, and you just want to make sure that it's at the right consistency to brew the perfect latte. I have my grinder dialed in. I'm going to do a double shot and grind. Once you have your coffee in the portafilter, you're going to use your distributor just to spin around the coffee and make sure that when you press down on it, there's an even field of coffee, so it's not unequally tamped. Once your coffee has been distributed, you're going to get your coffee tamper, and then you're going to press down on it until you feel the pressure of the countertop kind of pushing back at you. You don't want to push it down too hard. So roughly 30 pounds of pressure is recommended. So now the coffee is completely packed in there to the point where I can turn it upside down and it doesn't fall out. It looks nice and even. There's no coffee on the rim to get on your espresso machine. So now we're good to go. You can go ahead and put your portafilter in your espresso machine, lock it in. And what the espresso machine does is it's going to get water and pressurize that puck of coffee with about 200 pounds of pressure and basically make coffee concentrate called espresso, which your regular coffee pot is not capable of doing. The next things you'll want to bring out are 8 ounces of cold milk in your milk jug, favorite coffee mug that you use for your latte, and then just to show you guys visually what the espresso looks like when it comes out, I'm using this clear shot glass. So you're going to want to purge your steam wand, make sure that all the excess moisture that's been sitting in the wand doesn't get in your milk, because you don't want water and your milk to mix. So you can put your milk jug under your steam wand. Once it's turned on, you want to make sure that you have proper air in your milk. You kind of want it to sound like a jet, and then you can just let it sit in there. And then this will stop it at 145 degrees. You don't have to be too precise. Then you can start brewing your espresso. I just stop it when it gets to the top of the glass. Now we got our hot milk and our fresh espresso. And as you can see here, the espresso is layered as it should be. It's got all this cream on the top called crema, which shows you that the coffee is very fresh. So now that you have your fresh espresso and your milk, now it's time to put them both in your cup and make the perfect latte. So start by putting the espresso in the cup so it's at the bottom, and then just slowly pour the milk over the espresso. And then bada bing, bada boom, perfect latte. I hope everyone was able to follow along and enjoy this video on how to make a perfect latte. Again, it starts and ends with quality, and as you saw, sometimes it is not a clean and easy process in making the perfect latte, but it just takes some experimentation and some fun along the way to finally get there. So don't be afraid to experiment, and if you don't have an espresso machine already, I would highly recommend it. It will definitely change your life and you'll have a new hobby. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please give us a like and subscribe if you want to see more how-to videos, and please stay tuned for next Saturday's video as I have some incredible news to share with you guys. Put the hot milk on top of the espresso.
Oh my goodness! Why?